Hello, everybody, and welcome to the True Love Talk channel. Here we want to learn about human sexuality and love based on the teachings that Pope John Paul II left in the Theology of the Body. I am Elisa, and today we're going to talk about the castration complex. So, let's begin. Okay, so this video is about the castration complex, but just so you know, Freud developed this concept for psychoanalysis. I am not going to use the Freudian idea of the castration complex. I am going to talk about this idea that I have developed based on the values of modernity that we saw in the last video. So, to start on the understanding what is the castration complex that I am going to talk about, and that is different from Freud's, right? We need to understand two logics: the beauty pageant logic and Batman's logic. There are two different logics. So let's start with the beauty pageant logic. Basically, in a beauty pageant, they take a good number of women, all of them beautiful, and they tell them that they are not all beautiful, that there are some of them who are beautiful and some others who are not, and that they are going to decide over the next few days who is a really pretty person and who the rest of them can sit down and cry because they are ugly and they are not good enough. This is something that we believe and that we live by, basically, most of us. We believe that if somebody has the same characteristic as I do, or has the same ability, the same capacity as I have, then suddenly I lose mine. If I am an intelligent person and somebody else, some a second intelligent person enters the room, I immediately become an imbecile or something like that. And that creates a lot of shame, and people stop feeling unworthy, and they feel threatened by basically by everybody else. Now on to Batman's logic. Batman's logic can be understood if you understand who Batman is. So basically, Batman is a superhero, but he doesn't have superpowers. What he is a very smart person, and he's a great scientist. He is a great engineer, and a great physicist, and a great biologist, and a great chemist, and a great everything, basically. He knows everything there is to know. Also, he's a great athlete and he is great at martial arts. So he's a great soldier, and also he's very cute, and also he is very wealthy. And basically, Batman can do everything and he has everything. And because he can do everything and has everything, he is a worthy person. A person worthy of respect and admiration, right? Basically, he's the only person in Gotham that is worthy of anybody else. The rest of Gotham citizens are just there to give Batman something to do. But they are not very important people. They are not worthy people. The worthy person, the Gotham's ideal citizen is Batman and nobody else. And in this logic, what we have is the idea that if you cannot do everything, that those things that you can do are worthless, even if you're great at what you can actually do. So, a person who is great at mathematics but is not so good at Spanish becomes a mediocre student because this kid cannot do everything. If I am a good lawyer but I am not a good butcher, honestly, how can you live with yourself, right? What good is it to be a good lawyer? Because I'm helping people who need help with the law. No, 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 not good enough because you cannot do everything. These two logics come together and make people ashamed of who they are. And they convince them that they are not worthy of being loved. And because they're not worthy of being loved, they lose the possibility of sexuality. Remember that we have said in previous videos that sexuality is a human ability to create meaningful relationships of love with others. The thing is, if you are not a worthy person, nobody can love you. And people are convinced that they cannot love everybody else. And if they think that they don't deserve love, they don't receive it. And therefore, they become incapable of having these meaningful relationships, much like if they were castrated, literally. Also, because the if somebody else has the same capacity or characteristic as I do, the rest of the people become threats to my possibility of being loved. And the possibility of truly connecting and truly loving somebody else is is replaced the the idea of using, controlling, and basically being better and above the other person I am in a relationship with. So they become relationships of control, not of love, but of control. And basically, they are ruled by jealousy because even if the other person is very different from me, that difference makes me feel that I am a problem and that I am not good enough. So that person is a threat. And basically, the idea of relationships become how the other person loves me and he or she gets hooked up on me while I don't get hooked up on them, while I don't fall in love with them, while I don't feel like, hey, this person is great. Because if this person is great, it means that I cannot be. Because two people cannot be great at the same time. So somebody has to be the great person and the other person has to be that pitiful admirer more than anything else. No, that person who is there to lift the other person's self-esteem, because indeed you're so much better than I am, but also the person who is there because that great person is a very nice person and pities them, and so yeah, I'm wasting my time with you, or so on. Anyway, the point is, we lose the capacity of creating meaningful relationships of love with others, and that is what castrates us. But the way in which men are castrated nowadays is very different to the way that society castrates women nowadays. So in the next videos, we're going to we're going to analyze both ways, both castration complexes, the masculine and the feminine one. The next video, we're going to talk about the masculine castration complex and how does that work. And well, that's it for today. I'm very glad to see that you chose to see the entire video. If you have any questions or any comments, please write them down. I will answer them as soon as I can. And well, see you in the next video and have a nice day. Lots of blessings for everybody. Bye.